welcome to the S and M podcast.
S and Y M.
There's no video accompanying this pod. We're just doing audio only. We want to test it. We want to see what the people say. I wanted to name it S, the letter Y. Baby, act like it's a normal pod, man. You're not free to do it or be professional.
Oh man, I'm so sorry, Sam.
It's I wanted to name it S.
See, that's why I don't want to do this pod, because I'm already getting that look.
Y and M, and I was very happy for it to be named the Sam E. Monica podcast, but there's another name.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. And I think I like that a lot better. It seems that,
shut your mouth.
So we're allowed to say shut your mouth on this pod. So if you're listening, don't think that that's how.
Shut your mouth. I just like the name.
It's a great name, right?
Down on the name.
Now, baby, that's my daughter, Daniela. We are
recording. Look, we're recording. It's real.
So, go ahead.
So we're here, and I wish I had a video of this.
I thought it was a good idea that there is no video, so we don't have to. We can be free.
Well, yes, so I can show all the viewers what you look like.
Just check out the failed podcast.
You look frustrated, and it is the first episode.
Shut your mouth. Welcome to Shut Your Mouth.
It is the intro. Why shut your mouth? Why do we choose that? Because a lot of husbands want to say that to their wives, maybe.
Right no,
and a lot of wives want to say that to their husbands.
We're not gonna. I don't want to focus. I don't want to make this like a marriage necessarily.
Oh
thing.
no, it's not a marriage.
This is humans conversating, and me and you have a lot of conversations, and I think the SYM an abbreviation is perfect. After this, we'll move past that. I think we're talking too much about the title.
There you go.
But there's two.
Shut your mouth. That's a nice way. Sam said we're moved past.
And so
we're gonna move past it.
When you hear that, right, and you've already said it like 50 times, what comes to you? How would you define that phrase?
It's a little bit of power. You're shoving a little bit of power around, like. Shut your mouth, and then it causes people to stop what they're doing, to look towards you, to see what you have to say. It feels good.
So me and Monica have a lot of great conversations. As everyone, hopefully there'll be some new listeners, but for the most part, she is part of the Chit Chat team. So
to my girls.
That's enough with that. Okay, so shut your mouth. Okay, and so welcome to the Shut Your Mouth podcast. So we always talk. We're talking communication. We roll out like this is what y'all going to talk about, how to do it, how to make it not so aggressive, how to make it lighthearted. There's always these conversations that revolve around how to communicate, right? But in doing that, we're doing life like. We're just talking. It's not necessarily work, and so
it's a natural flow.
Yeah. So for me and Monica, it's a lot of talks about conversation, how to conversate, and then with the failed podcast, I was waiting for Monica to give me like a plug, a shame, but I had to give
your mouth.
I had to give myself a shameless plug.
You just don't ever just take a breath. If we just listen back and rewind, there is no room for me to talk. But I am taking this moment to say yes, Sam is a part of the failed podcast, and Sam has been in the podcast world for a while. He has been doing it.
You're listening to us put the phone on our mics. I'm trying things out as well. So go ahead, babe. I didn't mean to
I
shut
think
your
the
mouth.
very first moment I was introduced to podcasting was when he introduced it as Counterpunch. And, you know, life and all the things he's been doing from Cultivate to now the Failed Podcast. And then, you know, he started to produce the Chit Chat Cafe. And I'm so excited about Chit Chat Cafe.
So this
And so I wasn't done. So shut your mouth. I just want to say for all of those that
I love the title.
have not
Okay, don't come
believed
on.
in Sam, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's done it, and he's doing it.
Now you're my boo. You're my biggest supporter, right? So there's no haters that exist out there. We know that everybody loves what I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say that there was one hater out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what would you say? What would you say to them? Besides,
shut your mouth.
yeah,
And then slap him.
yeah. Besides that, we're against physical violence, by the way. I said violence with the B.
Violence. Yeah. Well, I would tell that person, you know, it's okay. Whatever you're feeling might be real because of your expectations, your roadmap of where any person should be, because of their goals that maybe Sam has shared with you.
Trees die from the roots up.
And this is just talking.
Don't ignore me, girl. You heard me.
Yes,
Was that
I
good?
heard you. Yes, I was good. Drop the mic.
Boom.
Yeah. But I would say you obviously don't know Sam. Because anyone that knows you, Sam, you've been doing podcasts for so long. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would just slap him around a little bit. Like,
You know, and it's podcasting, obviously, but I'm just passionate about communicating, about the English language, about getting a point across, making it so people can learn. Like, that's one of my main things in everything that I do. You know, shut your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut your mouth. You know.
Hey, I have a question.
Go for it. Oh, by the way, don't lose your train of thought.
Okay.
This is the format of the pod. We have some topics, but we're showing y'all the way that we communicate and roll them out. And this is like brainstorming happening verbally. And you'll see it happen throughout the pod. The pods are going to be about, 3 to 4 hours long. So we're going to really cover.
Sam,
we're going to cover
3 to 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Sam.
But go ahead. What were you saying?
Okay, so you were saying, communicating, make a point, get across to people. Have you ever met someone that they pride themselves that they're good communicators, that they know how to communicate, but then when you talk to them, you have no idea what they're saying?
So, here we go. Let me see if I can get a cool sound. That's the Shut Your Mouth theme song, because we're introducing a topic right now. Go ahead and sum it up real quick so it can be like a bullet point. People that pride themselves that they're good communicators, but then when you talk to them, you're like, what the heck? I do not know what you just said. Okay, so there's several angles that I can approach that, okay? What's a good communicator? Okay, I have my answer. Like, in our relationship, you know that I don't like sharing first.
Yes, and you don't like sharing first. You always let other people share.
But why? Don't make it like it's annoying.
It's a little bit annoying.
Shut your mouth. Welcome to the
Sam
Shut Your
and Monica
Mouth podcast.
Because you don't like no one piggy writing off of your answer.
Exactly. I want people's original thoughts, and usually my gut instinct, my first thought is I'm not gonna change it because it's even though it's quick, it's coming from somewhere, something I've read, something I've heard, and so I have a stance on a lot of things that are just like ready to fire, when things come up, especially if I see the conversation coming. And so what is communication? And so tell me what you think off the cuff.
Well,
Simplified, obviously.
for me, communication is like it's clear. It's clear and it answers questions without me even having to ask them.
Got it.
That's good communicating to me, or good communication to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you communicate something and then I ask a question, but you just make me feel dumb for asking the question and I'm still confused, that's bad communication to me. So, good communication, it has to be, how do you say it? Crystal clear.
Thank you for tuning in to the Shut Your Mouth podcast. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. We wanted to take this moment to give 2 plugs. We wanted to plug the Chit Chat Cafe podcast. You can search that up on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcasts. It's a great listen. Give it a shot. And we want to give a plug to the Failed podcast. You can also find that on YouTube and anywhere that you listen to your podcast. Also, another great listen brought to you by the Failed Podcast production / studio something or other. And so, guys, welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed that plug. Communication. Okay, babe. For me, people think that they're great communicators because they can just talk. And I think the best communicators know how to balance a conversation with someone who maybe is less effective at communication. So even though you know something or you're a know-it-all, you hold back to give the other person an opportunity to communicate, participate in the conversation. And the goal is to come out with a better understanding at the end of it, not to come out right or wrong. I'm not a good debater. We're not trying, like when I do podcasting, I'm not debating. Mm-hmm. I'm conversating.
Right.
And so it's a combined effort to show that we understand each other. Mm-hmm. And so I always feel I'm very keen to listening and why people are saying things, and then I jump in. And so a lot of people pride themselves as good communicators because they're able to have coffee, or some people have a beer and they talk for hours and then they leave and they're like, that was great. But you have to count like the wasteful part of the conversation and the useful part of the conversation. And so for me, I try to make it more useful than wasteful. I try to be very poignant about what I say and how, and have a direction in my head and in my idea of what I'm trying to say in that moment. And so,
shut your mouth. I just wanted to say it real quick. What do you think? What do you think is a percentage of just humans in general, like that have wasteful conversations versus useful conversations? Because that was good, Sam. I think the human nature.
Shut your mouth, girl. What'd you say? I didn't hear you. What'd you?
I said, that was good, Sam.
There we go. I'm listening. Okay, so it was a good point. I understand.
And it was a good point. I just wonder if us, the human nature, walk around just mainly having useless conversations.
Okay.
Like just to fill time.
And so an example of that, as Monica was asking, I was already calculating how to respond to that. Okay. And so I can, in my head, come up with I can recall kind of my past 20 or 30 conversations that I've had. Right. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand that I'm involved in those conversations. So I cannot turn off what I do as far as, I call myself a creative communicator for a reason. But yeah, inside of those, man, the percentage is high. I don't have exact numbers, but it's definitely in the 80s, close to the 90 percentile of wasteful conversations. It's hard to have depth conversation, and people, and here's where they get it twisted, is just because they bring something to the conversation, sometimes they suck the oxygen out of the whole time, and they cannot be quiet, and they overtalk, and the other person is literally sitting on the other end, bored, waiting for, come on, give me an opportunity to talk, and change the tone of the conversation, and so those people have this disillusion that they bring great conversation to a conversation. But they don't, and so that it's like tennis, man. There ain't no good tennis match on your own, man. You gotta volley it back and forth. You know what I mean? And every now and then you get a point. But yeah, a lot. It's high.
It's crazy because I know that maybe us in the Sam y Monica podcast, we believe in a higher power, right? We believe in God, and it's amazing.
And TED Talks.
And
we're talking. Yeah, I mean they're great.
Yes. You're so dumb. So it's crazy because it brings me to 2 Timothy 2, and it says, "Stay away from foolish, useless talk, because that will lead people further away from God. Their evil teaching will spread like sickness inside the body." So it just makes me think even deeper, like we were created to be useful, not to be useless. Like we were created to have meaningful, intentional, useful conversations, and sometimes we waste it. Like that's such a shame.
I think so. I have some very horrible experiences with conversation, and I'm gonna finish with this because again I don't want to go on rabbit trails because I want to introduce another segment in a minute so that people can get a flow of what we want to do here. Okay. And so here we go, man. This is just take it with a grain of like 10 pounds of salt. Understood? I mean, shove that salt down your mouth because this is how it is, man. If you are a know-it-all, you are probably having one-sided conversations, and the people on the other end are regretting getting stuck in that conversation. Okay. Now I consider myself obviously intellectual and stuff, and I know a little bit, right? But there's times where I struggle with thinking I know too much. And I have to kind of maneuver how I communicate in conversations. But it's a growth thing. So I'm not here trying to be all high and mighty and better than everyone. But self-awareness is key. And so, that's one thing I hate, man, like people that are know-it-alls. If you say I know a lot in a conversation, you might as well put a period. You're in essence saying I don't want to have this conversation. Whatever you have to say doesn't matter because I know. And I can't tell you how much I hate whenever I hear I know. Get it out.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth before you bark, girl.
Okay.
Say one more thing about that, and then let's introduce something else.
Sam Esquivel.
Sam y Monica podcast.
From the producer of Chit Chat Cafe and the host of the Most Failed podcast, which is amazing.
Okay, no more plugs, man. People are going to hate this.
I'm so proud of you. I just want to say that. I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you too.
So, I don't know. I just think that from this point forward, I'm going to be more mindful of my conversations.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that they're being useful and not useless. Because we have a better purpose in life than just to go on with useless conversations.
Okay, so I'm going to pick your brain, okay, just because I'm kind of like... what's a conversation that we've had this past week, right? Because we've been testing this shut your mouth concept, and this is what we do. What do I do when we're talking?
We're on the pod.
Yeah, act like we're on the pod. What are some of the conversations that I've said that, or topics that I've said that and maybe remind me, because I want to reactivate one of them. I'll give you a second.
Okay.
This past week we were out of town.
Yeah.
We've had a lot.
We've had a lot. But before that, can I bring up something?
Absolutely. Open format.
What made you smile today? Share something that made you smile today.
Okay. You're probably not gonna like the answer.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you and Daniela waking
Just
up.
where
life
it's
was-
not something embarrassing.
Yeah. No, what made me smile today is that we take pictures of our daughter since she's been little, and she's always posing and hand on the hip and the other hand in the sky, and so we've since she's been little beady, like as long as as short as she was with like to where my knee is, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I remember those days. And then today you took a picture and you're like, Sam, look, and you showed it to me. And and our little girl she's grown up, and it made me smile.
Aww.
Yeah. As a dad, I just what props can we give a kid that's just growing? Like she hasn't accomplished anything yet. The future is bright, but it's ahead of her.
Yeah.
And so I'm just whenever it comes from a dad, it's just like I'm just proud to have been a part of every. Well, hold on, we got a question in the room. Oh my gosh, yes, Daniela.
It's not a question. My nose is bleeding.
Oh.
No. We'll be right back. We got to tend to our child.
Okay.
All right. That's the intro. No, anyways, so that's what made me smile. Is the picture.
That's sweet. I'm glad that made you smile. You know, sometimes I feel like we don't smile enough.
Yeah,
Like humanity in general.
I agree.
We don't smile enough, and
Sometimes it hurts so much when you're stuck on mad.
yeah.
And right now, let me just give and throughout this, it's always like, how can I provide value? And my value comes through communication and stuff. And so right there, in case you're podding or wanting to pod, let this be like a tutorial for you. She asked me a question on what made me smile. The common thing that people do is literally turn around and ask the same question. In some formats that works. I'm not going to turn around and ask her the same question because it becomes redundant. Like then she's going to, in essence, going to try to top me. Then it becomes another thing. Now, she asked me, I responded, she gave a little insight, and she literally, if she wanted to share, right, babe, about that, like if she was lobbying it up for her to respond, she would naturally need to do it right there. Like for the pod to grow, it can't just be like question, because that's not, to me, that's not where the quality comes. Even though the Felt podcast is all questions, not all questions, but a lot of questions, there's a lot of conversation in there, and I put emphasis on it. And so,
The reason I asked him is because
yeah,
today I saw a lot of sad people.
explain.
Like,
And by the way, let's introduce this. This is yet another segment, and this is kind of a tutorial. This is how a pod would feel. You're feeling it because I'm mentioning it, but you wouldn't, in essence, know because we're just bringing it in a conversation flow. So let's just act like. Tell me, shut your mouth. Say, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
So we were out and about today, and you saw a lot of people with a frown on their face.
So I saw like a stressed out mom. And she was like really, really upset. She looked
What was
so
she doing?
upset. Like the kid was trying to talk to her.
Right.
Like, he wanted a toy. The little boy wanted a toy, and
Yeah.
she was just like, I already said no. And she's like getting mad, and then she's just standing there watching him like
Pout.
yeah. And I don't know. Like she could be sad because either she's tired, she's had a long day. She could have been sad because she might not have enough money.
Here's my thing. Here's
but-
shut your mouth. People can get mad at me because I said that.
Vas a ver.
I was just saying the name
Vas a ver.
of the pod.
Vas a ver. When you stop recording, we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna leave the record button until next week. No, and so that's okay. I'm gonna use the word excuse, but it's interchangeable with whatever you prefer. But there's always excuses why, let's just say, that mom was being ugly towards her kid when her kid wanted a toy, right? We all have life going on.
Yeah.
And at some point I say life is not an excuse anymore. It's how you respond to it. That is where the reality comes in. And I don't care if your life sucks. I don't care if things are difficult. Like, you're still teaching this kid how to be, how to respond. how to behave in public, what they get when they cry, when they scream, when they pout.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're still responsible for teaching them, and sometimes you have to put yourself aside and say, yeah, my situation sucks, right? But I got to teach this kid right. You can't just feed that pout with another pout. Then it just becomes pout.
Pow, pow. Well, in my head, I was thinking.
I'm joking. I was just joking.
I'm joking. Okay, in my head, I was just thinking, man, how many ladies out there would give to be in her shoes right now? Like, I always think, I don't know why, but I always think of all the ladies that wish they were moms and they can't. And,
yeah, I hear.
And I know it's a stretch. I know, but it's those moments that somebody might.
Kids be getting on my nerves.
Well, I know, but some of those moments where even when Dani touches, she tests my buttons. She pushes my buttons. I always think, man, how long I prayed to have her.
I've seen her karate chop your buttons. She's like, what? And then she'll kick it and sit on it.
Yes.
And it just bounce up and down on the
Yes. But I've gotten better.
Can I make you laugh?
Yes.
After I say this, plug the show.
Okay.
When I was little, I was the kid that would pout on the floor when I didn't get a toy.
Shut your mouth.
I know it's hard to believe.
No, it's not.
What?
It's not hard. You still pout now.
Let's move on to our next segment.
No, but seriously, okay, so there was that person.
Okay.
And then
we're talking about people just being down in
and
public
not smiling.
and it being so obvious. It's so depressing, guys.
And
it's
then
depressing.
I saw a few people like we were having lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And the workers looked happy.
Yeah.
Like, which makes me happy. But then the people sitting in there's this one guy sitting there eating. He finished his whole meal, and then like his girlfriend or wife or I don't know was in the car waiting for him, and you could tell like they were upset, And so that was another person I saw that was not smiling today. And then I saw a few people while we were driving. They just look so like, how do you say it? Mundane?
Okay. So, down and out, gray cloud over your head. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know where to take this except that there's always a reason to have a frown on your face. But like you really have to work at changing your own sunshine.
But there's always a reason to smile. We just gotta look for it. And that's why I said, hey, what made you smile today? And there was a pause. Mm-hmm. There was a few seconds of a pause. Yeah. And I think that sometimes we all of us need to take those few seconds of a pause and say, this made me smile. It just feels good. It feels good to think about those moments and
smile a little bit. You know what I mean? Don't walk around. What's the Spanish saying about, sourpuss face?
No sé, Sam.
Cara de limón.
Oh, cara de limón.
Anyway, girl, shut your mouth. See, I thought you. Okay, anyway.
No, you said sourpuss. That sounds gross, like pimple, like puss.
Okay.
Pus.
And so,
like squirting out.
And so, I don't know what to say, but I just want to encourage people to find that reason. Find that reason, because I drive around too, and I see things, and I'm just like, man, why are they so bummed out, man? Like, change your situation.
Sam,
yes,
when
ma'am.
people see you, do they think, oh, he's having a good day? Or do you think, like, they see you and they're like, dang, what's wrong with that guy?
Sometimes I'm a little pissed. I'm a little stressed. Life is life. But I try not to. I try to smile. I try to look like a crazy, dorky, silly person, and I'm walking around smiling for no reason.
I never seen you smile, Sam.
I be smiling?
I never see you be smiling out in public, like.
No, I like saying thank you and smiling at people when I'm working and stuff like that.
Bro, the way you say thank you is so not smiling. You're like, thanks.
I say thank you, please.
not with the smile. You're just like so cold, like thanks.
Okay, guys. So that didn't go the way I wanted to.
Let's be
And
honest.
I thought I was.
Shut your
I
mouth,
thought I was.
Sam.
Anyway, so.
No. Okay, I'm the crazy smiling person. I'm like smiling at everybody and strangers and walking at Target smiling at people whether they're
Okay.
little, big or small.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I do try to carry myself in a certain way, and I do work with a lot of people, try to keep the energy positive and everything. And that's where I was coming from. You know, like the people that work with me won't tell you like Sam's miserable. Like I am. I do bring a level of stress.
But see, I didn't ask you that. I asked you
but I'm just
if
saying that's where
people
it came
see you
from.
in public.
Oh, well, I don't know. There's no way to answer that. It's a self perspective, you know, because we don't know the people who are seeing me. But anyways, so that's, yeah.
Look at Daniela's face.
And I hope you enjoyed that, like, little, that's how we talk. That's how me and we kind of like, okay, maybe let me think it through. Let me rechange it. And then we just work past it. Like sometimes we finish mad at each other and we're like, fine, just say whatever you want to say. And it's all good. But we're always practicing, right? How to communicate better.
Yep.
So, okay, I want to read you something.
Okay, read
Okay.
me something, Sam.
Don't be repeating what I say. Don't do that.
Shut your mouth. Sam y Monica.
Your lack of dedication is an insult to those who believe in you.
Your lack of dedication is an insult to those that believe in you.
And here's where I'm going with that.
Santo.
How do you feel about support?
Oh, man.
How do you look
It's-
at likes, like on your social? How do you look at views? How do you look at when people say, good job with Chit Chat, good job with Donnie, good job? Like, how do you think about support?
Okay, so on social media, I don't really pay much attention to it
Yeah.
because I'm just doing my thing. Like, if
It's one way.
yeah, like for me, if it's with Chit Chat, I'm not thinking about my close friends or my family.
Yeah.
Because it is known, and I'm not trying to be ugly, but it is known like 99% of the support is not going to come from your inner circle. Until you've made it to the top of the top, then they'll support you. But the process, it's kind of like they're ghost you. And that's not just us. I'm saying in general.
Yeah, from what you've seen.
From
that's
what
the way it
I've
goes.
seen in business, in education, you know, it's very, very slim, the support you get from those inner circles.
Yeah.
So when I post about, or I see the support from Chit Chat, it's from people I don't even know.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like I just keep it as far as like, okay, I gotta keep going, because you know those people are watching, those people are expecting it or waiting.
How do you use the support from those that believe in you?
Now, from the people that do
Like,
believe
what? Let
in
me stop you. Like, can you think? You don't have to say names, but can you think of a few people who honestly believe in you? And simply being a friend is not enough. Like, some people have to say,
Yeah.
I heard your podcast. Good job. Keep it up. Can you think of a few, or is that even super light?
I think I have a few, like maybe 3 or 4 that for sure will ask me about my pod. It's not no family has asked me, unfortunately. If I bring up the pod, it's because I tell them about it, and they're like, oh yeah, it was good, you know. But coworkers, you know, they'll ask, how's it going? Friends, as far as like friends that we hang out with, like that we do live, I haven't gotten asked about the pod. But coworkers, definitely. Like, I have a few coworkers, my boss for sure. But that's what I was gonna say. I think I have people in my life that believe in me as an educator.
Got it.
You know,
that's your other life.
That's my other life.
Very few people know about that part about Monica. That she is very, very talented when it comes to teaching, and people don't know it, but her students and her students' teachers, they know, like, and they show her love and they show her support.
My students' parents.
Students' parents. What did I say?
Teachers.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, you know, they see me as they believe in me as an educator. Now, yeah. I do have I have a handful of friends that believe in, you know, they encourage me as far as being a great mom, because, you know, being a mom is tough, and I have those friends. But
okay, yeah. So I feel all kinds of way about the support and stuff that I get. I'm like, I really don't care. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. Here's where it gets difficult. Okay, in this world where there's so many people, almost saying they're doing something amazing, like everyone's amazing. You know, everyone's the most handsome. Everyone's the most smart at a certain age from most parents, right?
Yeah.
And then reality sets in. You know, when we all get older. So there's two types of people that are. We're both seeking support, but what we're giving is we're interested in something and we're dedicated in something. Okay, so I think the people that it frustrates the most are people that are interested in something, and they're like, how come no one's showing me love? Why are you looking at me like that?
My eye.
Oh, anyway.
Sorry, Sam.
So think about that. And I think that whenever you're dedicated and people
I'm being silly. Shut your mouth. Okay. Sorry.
So, okay, guys. So whenever I'm on a thought process that's deep, Monica can deactivate it by goofing around. And I will forget. Like, things are literally sitting just for a second. And you help me elaborate on this.
It's true.
And if it a hiccup or if something happens for that second, it'll go away, because these are just thoughts to kind of activate a conversation.
And sometimes it's so annoying, because it's like, how can you forget? But he's being for real. It literally leaves his mind.
And I'm gonna tell you why I'm remembering, because it's the two words. It's interest and dedication.
Interest and dedication.
Yeah, and so I don't. If people have an interest, I wait till it turns into a dedication, and then I'll start showing them some love, because I'm not trying to waste my time on people's hobbies. I know it sounds ugly, but I don't want people to waste their time on my hobbies either.
Yeah,
I'm very black and white. It's my job, and it's podcasting.
But I've always supported you, Sam. Even if it's
people are laughing, they're like, it's his wife.
No, but you know what? It's because I know some wives that won't support their husbands.
We're gonna post the name on the description below. We're gonna put the name of some of the. I'm joking.
Shut your mouth.
Boom, boy, you better text me and tell me to shut your mouth, Sam.
So there's some things that wives will not support, and I don't know. I think all of your hobbies. Remember when you wanted to do the...
Don't say everything. Do not put everything out there, because some stuff
I'm not going to say nothing.
In the future, I'll reflect on it.
Okay.
But I don't want to give fuel to hate a nation.
Okay, I won't say nothing.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I won't say nothing.
There's a lot of... Okay, let me explain. I have a lot of dumb hobbies, but it's the process, it's the learning, it's the exploring, the industry, the pricing, the how to do it, and how is the cost of entry, the cost of growth, and so I love doing that, and then that teaches me stuff that I apply to my two main focuses. And so Monica has known of many, including the one she was going to mention, and I told her not to.
I think that's my favorite one. Because, oh man, I was like, yes.
I wanted to be a clown. I wanted to.
Shut your mouth. No, Sam. No, but I like that. You will not show any support on people's hobbies until it turns in you see their dedication, right?
Yeah, dedication means a lot to me. There has to be effort put, and people want.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Now, that thing that I can't talk. What you said was, what is your viewpoint, right?
Point of view.
Or point of view on the lack of commitment or dedication?
Dedication.
It's hard. It's hard because can you imagine, like, okay, like for Chit Chat, we would post every Monday. And we haven't been posting every Monday.
I think we missed one.
Well, this one too.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
Two. It feels like two already.
Yeah.
So we would post every Monday, right? And so, you know, I just feel bad for all the viewers that we do get because we get a lot of love on Chit Chat. We get a lot of love. And so I feel like when we have lack of commitment for those people that do believe in us, man, that's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
And it's almost disrespectful.
And you know what? It's a lesson for y'all. You know what I mean? There was this quote that I read once, and it went along the lines of, like, I'm not going to try harder than you, who it's like, whether it's their business or their interest. If you're not trying hard, I'm not going to try harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so dedication, it's not convenient. You know what I mean? Dedication means you don't see today. You know, you hear it, you're aware of it, but what you're seeing is the future, you know, and what you're aiming for it. And that motivation is going to wake you up and get you going because, you know, usually the payoff is huge if everything clicks and everything works, you know. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to close that, and I want to jump into something else. And first of all, I just want to say thank you for making it this far. I think me and you communicate very well.
I think so.
I think
too.
we've been learning. Would you say we? Or do I make an effort of saying, baby, we need to communicate? Is it we?
No. No, it's not just you.
Yeah.
I think we like our conversations.
We do.
Like we seriously know people that will not talk and they're married.
Let me brag a little bit. I know some of y'all probably hate when people brag, but this is there you go. This is your nugget. Okay, it can be a chicken nugget or your gold nugget, whatever you prefer. And so, remember we were eating at a restaurant once, and what are you doing?
Nothing.
You are on that phone. What are you doing?
I was trying to
Who you
find...
texting?
No,
it better be your mama, because if it ain't anybody, shut your mouth, shut your phone, shut your text off, girl.
I was trying to find a quote I wanted to talk about.
Don't be looking for quotes.
Okay, go ahead.
I have like a quote. I had that quote ready too. Yeah. Okay, and we were talking, right? And so this couple walked. I just love the way that y'all have been talking. And so on the funny side, they were just being nosy. They're like, okay, what they saying? What is it? She said, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, they were being, but they observed that we were chit-chatting, talking, including Daniela, me and you, and life and creativity and food and and they caught wind of it. And then they came up to us and talked to us, and it made me smile because communication and growing in communication is so important to me.
Yeah.
And for us.
And it was funny because you don't think people are looking, but they're looking.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot. I think even my papi, he says, ay,
shut your mouth.
No te callas la boca. Like, I was taking him to the doctor. He's like, no, me siento atrás. And I'm like, why? No, sit in the front with me. And then
he said, because girl, you don't.
He's like, no te callas la boca.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. And I'm like, oh. I just love to talk. But remember, I'm going to practice making sure and being intentional that my conversations are useful and not useless.
Okay. And so so I consider you a podcaster now. You're at 15 or so episodes. Stop. Don't bring that.
Yes, Quinn. I am.
And y'all been doing really well. Y'all have your branding and your editing, and I think it's very good.
The trio. Shut your mouth.
Why did I say that? Why did I give you those compliments?
because you're waiting for me to say the
Because
failed
I'm the producer, and so I'm so proud
has
of
produced
the Chit
us,
the Chit Chat Cafe.
and I live with the producer.
Hey, you never
I pay
know
him kindly.
if someone is, if somebody
Sam,
wants to. I am not.
acknowledge
No,
it.
you don't think. See,
Acknowledge
this
that.
girl is trying to get one past me, and I'm not gonna go down that. I don't like making jokes like that.
Okay.
And so,
Okay.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the Chit Chat Cafe and what you have done. But you're a new podcaster in the. If you're listening to this, we're in the Fort Worth, Texas area, and you're a new podcaster. So you have got to experience what it's like to come into the community. And so I want to take this time. We're gonna change gears. We're gonna go down the. We're at the Y. Estamos en la Grega. And we're gonna go down another direction.
Okay.
Guys, we are going to laugh sometimes about certain things because there is an undertone. There is something. There's an inside joke. Look at this. This girl is about to pass out.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
I love
ya
you,
llegamos
Sam.
a la Y. Vamos a voltear para la derecha.
Oh my gosh, Sam.
Okay, get serious.
Okay, I'm serious.
Okay, dedicate.
Shut your mouth. I'm
And-
serious.
And talk to me a little bit about how you felt when you came into the pod and some of the support that you've seen from the
Yes,
podsters
from the
and stuff. This is a
podsters.
moment for us to give some flowers to
To
what you've
our-
seen in
okay.
this community.
So first of all, shout out to Andrew from Fort Worth Roots.
Andrew, my man, for Ruth. If you need a podcast to listen to, he is dedicated. Please,
He
listen
really
to
is.
Andrew at Fort Worth Roots.
So that is like the most humble guy I have ever met.
Yes.
That is white. Like, I'm sorry to say it that way, but
Not too much on Andrew. I'm
but
joking. That's
he's-
funny, right?
he is so humble. Like,
Why? Why? Tell me why.
I don't know. Like, he could have been like, I remember coming into your studio, Sam, and he was here, and you allowed me to listen into y'all's episode.
Yeah.
And he could have been like, okay, that's Monica Sam's wife. Like, why is she even here? But he was like so genuine. And he asked me, like, I don't know. It was crazy because I hadn't even seen all the people he's interviewed. I mean, he's interviewed some key people.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even, like, he's just so
He's
mellow.
put some work.
He's so humble. Like, he was the sweetest. And I remember the question, I'll never forget. He goes, you need to know why you're doing this.
Yeah.
And I laugh at my answer
What'd you
because
say?
I was like, I know what podcasts can do, and I want to do it, and we're gonna do it with my friends, and I'm gonna take them out of poverty. And that was my, like, now I'm like, that's such a silly
Yeah.
reason
naive.
to do it. Yeah, because I had no idea. Like, I'm thinking I'm gonna be Joe Rogan overnight, react, right? And
That's
Andrew,
Joe Button, girl. That's Joe Button.
I mean Joe Button, sorry, Joe Rogan, Joe Button. And Andrew could have been like, girl, don't even go into podcasts.
Okay, well, let me stop you so we don't get too much because there's obviously more stuff you experienced. Okay, so hold on. What are 2 lessons that you did learn or have learned from Fort Worth Roots from Andrew?
It takes dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a lot of hard work. Like, I see you and all the work you put into it, but
Shut your mouth, girl.
but the more I go and I see even him,
Yeah.
and like he still has a full-time job and he's been doing it way longer than Chit Chat has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
What else? What else stands out? Well, you went to the PBR podcast
PBR
hosted by
podcast.
Robin. Shout out Robin.
Yeah.
Corks and Cowtown podcast.
she's so sweet.
She's very substantial. She's had some great interviews, very high
Yeah.
production value, and there you go.
Yeah,
You were a part of that.
I was so nervous. I was so nervous, and I felt so out of place. Like, well, first of all, my girls didn't get to go with me, so I was by myself. So I was not about to be like,
Monica's a part of a trio with the Chit Chat Cafe. There's 3 of them, and they're chit chatty, talky.
yeah. And so I wasn't about to be like, hey, it's Monica from Chit Chat Cafe, and I was by myself,
What you
you know. And so I just enjoyed like seeing everyone there with their team, like Funky Panther and
be careful when you start trying to do a list because you're going to leave a lot of people out. It's a long list of people.
It is a long list of people, and you
just named the Funky Panther. Like that's all you.
It's because I was waiting for the Osos to come up. The Osos Golosa. I was waiting because I wanted to tell them so bad. We wanted to be the Osas, and I wanted to tell them. And then I get to them, and then they're just like, okay. I was like, that was like a highlight. Like, guys, I wanted to share to them. Should have been more
funny with her.
I know. I wanted to share to them, like, we wanted to be the Osa Golosas, but we were not married to y'all, so that would have been awkward. And they just they just
shut your mouth.
They just looked
for real. Shut your mouth.
No, wait. They just looked at me like, okay, what is this nerd doing? Like, give me 50 feet.
But aside from that,
and then I love seeing rap. Like they walked in deep, and I was thinking, that's what I want to look like.
Jay and Johnny, they've been on the Fail podcast.
Yeah, and they were so sweet, like how can you say it? Respect? Yeah, they were
gentlemen.
They were gentlemen, and and I just love to see the support they gave each other.
Yeah.
Like they were like all over here. It was so crazy because they were like, at one part of the venue.
Not too much on the rap.
They were on one part of the venue.
Yeah.
And like, it was almost like everybody was like waiting to talk to them. Yeah. And we stood there and talked to them for a while. And I don't know. And as time, and obviously the highlight of that point was that I got to meet in person the girls from Forever Reckless. Like that was sweet to me.
Yeah. And you met Robin.
Yeah, and I met Robin. I don't know. It was a great event, even though I was so nervous. It was great to be there.
Yeah.
But as time has, after that event, I was able to like connect with them on social media.
Yeah. They've all shown you a lot of love. You follow, they follow back.
Yeah. And I just love to see the guys like fighting to see who's gonna win first place.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Yes. Why are you gonna make me say it? I don't want to add wood to the fire.
This girl try to bring something up without bringing it up.
So
move on.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see who's gonna win first place. They're gonna be surprised when it's neither of them. I'm just kidding. I love both of them. They're great. But I just think it's so great that there's an actual community of podsters here in the Fort Worth Metroplex area.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
So, okay.
And Sam, I would have never known about this community if it wasn't for you. Yeah. Like, people don't believe me, and they're probably tired of me saying it, but you really have taught. I learned a lot of stuff when we got together from you. Like, there's so many things I didn't know. I wasn't exposed to, and podcasting is one of those things. And I'm just forever thankful because it's an amazing little community. It is. So.
Okay.
Sorry, I probably took too long explaining all that.
It's okay. I just want to give you an opportunity to share because there's a lot of people that want to start and a lot of pods that fell, and I think that a pod in a community has a better chance of making it. You know what I mean? And so I think the Chit Chat girls are in a good position to continue to grow and continue to keep going. And so I'm rooting for y'all. All right. So this has been pretty good. We're gonna get pretty close to wrapping it up. We've covered a few segments, and it's just showing y'all how we communicate, right? Considering that we both host a podcast, and this is what it sounds like, and this is how, without it being official, this is how we create content, but this is how we test. This is how I test content, conversations, questions, and such with people that I talk to, especially with Monica, being that I talk to you the most. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we finish every night with great conversation. So go ahead. I'm going to hand it to you. Throw in one more segment. It can be anything. And this is to kind of show the audience the off the cuff thinking that we have. Okay. So I'm going to give you a second. Time's up. Go ahead.
Okay, so is building sandcastles really like difficult, or is it easier than you thought?
Okay. So I've seen, and I've not in depth, high quality sandcastle building, like where they're drawing lines and they're huge and it's competition. I've seen the best of the best, and it looks easy when they're, I mean, okay, so when you see someone that's a professional, it always appears easy. And so then we go, and I'm there playing with sand with Donnie, and I'm like, let's make a sandcastle. And I realize how difficult it is.
I was just gonna give y'all props. That was a pretty legit little sandcastle.
It was legit. It had different rooms and in different towers. I thought it was good, but as I was doing it, I realized how hard it was for it to keep its shape. I realized that I could manipulate it only so much, and so at the end, I was just like, I just need to make it. I just need to do the best I can, but I'm not gonna accomplish what I've seen.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was a great little sandcastle.
Yeah.
I think y'all did
Thank
great.
you.
I don't know. I think that's our first sandcastle ever.
Is that the first one we built, babe? First sandcastle on the beach?
Yeah, because when we went to Florida, we didn't get to build one.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah. So I think that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
That y'all got to do that. It just made me think of life and people around you.
Yeah.
They're going to make life difficult sometimes. But I saw your determination. I saw Donnie like, oh, let me help you, Dad. Let me bring it. And I feel like you just have to have the right tools and the right people around you for you to succeed in life.
I agree.
And it was great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that moment.
I think I enjoyed the moment. And when I saw it, I said, "Man, maybe when I do it again, it's gonna be better."
Why do you think people like building castles, anyways?
Like sandcastles, because of the reward when you get something that stays upright, that looks like the shape that you want, and it's something that you don't do often. It just feels good when you do something right. Like I play golf, right, and so whenever I suck most of the time, but boy, when I hit that good shot, you know what I mean. It's all like, oh yeah, that was very intentional. That was like because of years and years of practice, But sometimes you just get lucky, and so with the sandcastle, I felt like it's kind of the same. Like I had some good moments, and and I'm going to include it in my repertoire, when we go to the beach.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it, and I just think that human nature, right? We just need to do more things out of our comfort zone.
Okay. So can I bring this up about the sandcastle?
Sure.
Tell me if it's true or false.
Okay.
You brought it up because you had a deeper meaning behind why bringing it up. Okay?
Absolutely.
So in a pod, or when you're communicating, you have to decide: am I bringing something up for the fact of for the fact of what it is, right? Sandcastle, building sand, water, stacking it, whatever, or are you gonna veer the conversation into a deeper thought? That's what you did, right? And I was being more literal. And so now let's go ahead and be intentional, and let's find a deeper meaning in building sandcastles you were explaining. So continue. I just wanted to point that out, because this is the way that we communicate. Say, what's it called?
Shut your mouth.
Pew, pew, boom, boom, pew, pew. Better believe it. Okay, continue.
So, I don't know. I just felt like...
Keep it short and sweet.
Shut your mouth. Sam y Monica podcast. I just think that it was like the process, even the process, it just reminded me of how fast things can change.
Yeah.
And then how fast they can be forgotten. Because before we built the sandcastle, we talked about it. every day. And Daniela, you know, I want to be my sandcastle. I want to be my sandcastle. I want to be. And then we did it. And then after that was it. We talked about it for a few hours. We took some pictures. And then we didn't bring it back up until right now.
You remember that guy that we saw that was walking along the beach and he was punching like sandcastles that other people built? He would just stand over them.
Yes.
Like Thor.
And
he'd just punch it and they would explode.
You know what, Sam? That was you.
Shut your mouth, girl. Shut your
I have evidence, Sam.
No one was there. But anyways, okay.
I have evidence.
Let me
I have a recording, Sam.
Let me see where this goes.
I'm going to post it.
This will be our last segment, and then we'll do final thoughts, okay? Or closing thoughts. I think of the sandcastle, and it, as a whole, it looks like an item, like one whole piece, right? But every grain is so tiny. And and they do not attach. They're just resting on each other. We just have the illusion that they're attached, but they are not. It is grains of salt in the hundreds and hundreds of millions, whatever was there, stacked on top of each other to make up something bigger. And so the deeper thought for me is, as we talked about the podcast community, it is a lot of us that make us valuable. It is a lot of our support for one another that helps us be what we call the Pod Squad and so on. And it's all of our little moments, me and you, all of our conversations, those thousands and thousands of words that we share off the mic, right? That allow me to say, man, we have great conversations. Like, that is our sandcastle. You tearing up?
Sam. That was good.
Shut your mouth.
Buen trabajo, Samuelito.
Shut your mouth.
That was good.
All right.
You always have to show up and show out, Sam.
So let's close it right there. Okay. She's trying to karate chop my button. Okay. Give me a final thought on the Shut Your Mouth what's this, pilot podcast. I want to get some feedback from you. That is not the car. How do you say car in Spanish?
Carro.
Caro. Right. Just add an O to everything. That is incorrect.
Piloto.
Okay. Give me your thoughts on this pilot episode. This might be the one and only one that we do. But I wanted to test it because I feel like there's something there that is worth sharing that can teach a lot of people something. Okay. So give me a little bit about what we did here on the Shut Your Mouth pilot episode.
Well, I think, it might be a long shot.
Yeah.
You know, people might be like
super bored.
Something else that Chit Chat is doing, that Fell Podcast is doing, you know, but it might just be the right one.
Yeah.
You know,
and we got good vibes in real life.
Yeah. So to me, it's like we have nothing to lose.
No.
So why not try it? And I love talking to you, Sam.
Yeah.
I love having conversations with you.
Okay, give me one takeaway
from right now.
Yeah, from this, this pilot episode.
That I got to talk about the Pod Squad.
Booyah!
Like everyone, like that was great. Like even meeting new people that were barely doing it. Like Music on My Mind. He was new too to the pod.
I gotta send him a message.
Yeah, and so
he's doing good things.
And I don't know. I just think it was great. That was a highlight that I was able to just share a little bit about the Pod Squad.
Okay. Give me an outro.
Oh, ¿qué es eso? Pan con queso.
Shut your.
¿Qué es eso? What's an outro? Like I'm out.
Yeah, like the exit for
shut your
How do you say
mouth.
bye for Chit Chat?
Hasta la next Chit Chat.
Yeah, give me one for.
Oh, give you one for shut your mouth.
I'm gonna do one too, but
let's see. And that was Shut Your Mouth
with
Sam
and Monica.
No, it's E. Monica.
Well, for me, at this moment, I'm going to give you an opportunity to redirect what I just gave you to speak on, redirect it to me. So it's seamless. That way I don't have to ask it to myself. Okay?
Seriously, someone?
Act like I didn't do that. Go.
Okay. Sam, what was your favorite part of the show?
Okay. Rephrase it.
Ready?
Make it
Ready?
more personal.
Sam, do you think this is going to succeed?
I think it already succeeded. Like, I think this is going to be, it's about an hour-long episode, and I enjoyed it. It was, like, kind of effortless, and I think that we were in our vibe. Like, it's me and you talking. Hey, we left a few things out. You know what I mean?
Vibing.
Usually she'll slap me or tell me something, like, be real mean to me, but, like, today she was a little nicer because people are listening.
We were vibing.
And so, help. And so, so thank you. So for that, I mean, I think we've already succeeded. Now, how will the people take this? I don't know. I thought we were funny. I thought there was a lot of intentional insight, and that's the point. And so I need.
Okay. So are we gonna be useful or just for entertainment?
Both.
Oh.
But there's always going to be learning involved,
Okay.
and that's what I was. And thank you for allowing to be me, because I'm like redirected, say it again, rephrase it. That's all on purpose, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's the way that we roll. It's the way that we do things. And so thank you for doing this with me. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and so I enjoyed it. It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah,
Now let's go home so I can give you a besito.
guys, thank you for.
Sam, say something sweet. I'm gonna give you a besito.
I love you. Okay.
I love you too.
Don't do that.
Shut your mouth. That's what he's saying, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to the Shut Your Mouth podcast pilot episode. I hope that you enjoyed our conversation. We're just talking. We're
Conversación.
just flowing. And you want to give me the Spanish translation?
And we're vibing.
And we're vibing, man. So thank you so much. Give us some feedback, friends and family. If you hear this, drop a comment below. If not, for real, if you're a friend and family, send us a text. Tell us what you think. Well, we might do another one. We might open this up as another brand that falls under the Chit Chat or the Felt Podcast, under the Felt Podcast production lineup. And so, guys, thank y'all. And don't, if you're listening to this, shut your
mouth.